Hi there. Well, this morning I wanted to talk about books. There are so many good books out there. Fortunately, we have a lot to choose from. But as a writer, I know that sometimes I write really bad books. Like if you look at the books that I write, they're under the pen name E.J. Mara. Some of them, I'm going to be honest, are kind of terrible. So, what is it that makes a book really good? And I've been thinking about it, and there are three characteristics that every good book has. And these are some things that I need to learn to do better. The first thing is that main characters have a specific goal and they have flaws that prohibit or become challenges that get in the way of them reaching that specific goal. It's like when I figured that out, I was kind of like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And what kind of helped me figure that out was the show Scandal, because I noticed in almost every episode, the writers would have the main character of that show, Olivia Pope is her name. She would say, or someone would ask her, what do you want, in almost every episode? And that was so smart to do that because that told the audience what the main character's goal was. And it pulled us in more. It made us think, okay, we know what she wants now. Is she going to get that? So it was like a moment of, I don't know, just like it makes you more fascinated with the character and with the book itself. Although I know this is a TV show I'm talking about, not a book, but it's a story. A story is a story. So, yeah, every book needs to have a character who has a clear goal in sight that they really want, and then personal flaws, like something that's wrong with them. Yes, they have good qualities, but they also have something bad inside of themselves that gets in the way of them reaching that goal. And that makes the story interesting, it gives it tension. Okay, the second thing that every really good book has is cliffhangers throughout the story. And some of my favorite books are very quiet. Like they're not necessarily adventure or action. They're very quiet, but they still have cliffhangers or moments of suspense peppered throughout the story. So it just means like at the end of a chapter, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, is she gonna do this? Is she gonna like go out with the guy, or is she gonna go to that restaurant? It's just a moment where you have to know what's gonna happen next. Again, this is like common sense, but it's something that I know I, as a writer, sometimes didn't think about. I'm just like, when I'm typing on my laptop to write a story, I'm just trying to get a story out there. I don't really think, okay, will the audience wonder what's going to happen next year or what? So it's something that I think we as writers need to try to remember when we get back, excuse me, after we write that initial draft, when we go back to the story to edit it, to remember that most of our chapters should end in some kind of moment of suspense where the audience is left wondering what's going to happen next. Is really important. The third characteristic of a good book is a strong voice. So, whether the book is written in first person or in third person, it should have a very unique tone to it. Um, like, just think about, what if Darth Vader wrote a book about his experience from his perspective? That would be so cool. And it's because we'd be curious to see what a book sounds like from his perspective. And that's the thing that we as readers crave. We want to we want to see the world through someone else's perspective. But if that perspective sounds robotic and plain, it's like, okay, this is not even really a perspective. It's just a robot voice talking like this. It's boring. So the the voice needs to have some personality to it, something that makes it interesting. Um, and sometimes the voice in itself can actually be a cliffhanger in the book, or it can add to the suspense of the book because I don't know, it can help readers to find, like for stories, books that don't really have a huge sweeping plot. The voice is really important because it can add, moves the story forward. So the point is that voice is really important. It's important that uh, the book have a personality, basically. Okay, so those are the three characteristics I think of. Three characteristics that make a book really, really good and something that you just can't put down. Main characters with a goal, a clear goal, and then flaws that get in the way of reaching that goal. Cliffhangers peppered throughout the story. And lastly, a strong voice. That's it. I hope that was helpful to some of my fellow writers out there. Thank you for watching. Bye.